Yes, boss. See the topic and what it is that we're talking about, right? How to move forward after a horrible betrayal. Charlie Smoke, once again, man. Shout outs to you, my G. So here's the deal, right? Everybody's been betrayed in some form of a way. Some people have been done dirtier than others. Some people, the betrayal, it caught them off guard. They probably don't know what they did to deserve it, but there are some people who've went through some form of betrayal that it really broke the hell out of them, and like a car, it just left them in park. They don't know how to move forward. They don't know how to gather themselves. Sometimes when you go through a betrayal or something that's unforeseen or something that you never seen coming, especially a betrayal of somebody doing something dirty to you, somebody you probably never seen, I never expected this person was going to do that to me. Sometimes it could leave you so broken to the point where you don't know your left from your right. You don't know where you're coming, if you're coming or if you're going. Because to be broken or somebody to cross you, it's a move of deception. To leave you in a screwed up predicament as to where you cannot get up and go again. The thing you have to remember is that yes, we're humans. We feel certain ways, but at the same time, if you want to get out of that feeling or get out of that state of confusion or that pain that you're in, you have to learn how to move forward. And it's going to be very hard, so that's why I'm going to break it down for you, right? First and foremost, you got to acknowledge how you feel. So a person crossing you or betraying you, let's say it was a lover, right? They probably cheated on you with somebody close to you or somebody you didn't expect of, or went back to somebody else, played in your face, played on your time, all of that, right? Yes, it can hurt, but you have to understand to never let people have the upper hand over you. Never let a person feel like, the move that they made to break you or cross you left you stuck to the point where it's like you cannot move again. That's what makes people who are very egotistical feel like they're more than the next person or they're powerful. Because think about it. If I did something to cross you and I broke you down to the point where you probably gained weight or you had to go seek therapy, that gives some people a high. Sure enough, if somebody has to go see therapy because of you, that's not a good sign, bro. And that's not saying you're a powerful person. That just means you're friggin' wicked and tormented. Because if you can put somebody in a state of you have to go seek therapy or you got to seek help, that's not a right of bragging. You get what I'm saying? Because there are some people who do these things. So acknowledge the way that you feel. Acknowledge where you're at in the moment. This person left me broken and sad. I never thought that of them. You cannot stay and linger in that same realm because you'll stay there. You feel me? So what you got to do is first acknowledge how you feel. Acknowledge, what you're going through, the state where you're at mentally. When you acknowledge these things, it's just like saying you're admitting that there's something wrong. You feel me? It's just like if you met a person that they have hella problems or hella issues and you tell them, you got a problem, and they choose to deny it. That's like saying you're not choosing to recognize the problem. So the fact that you even recognize that there's a problem, that's a good thing. The next thing you have to do is figure out how to get out of there. And that could be the hardest part, so I'm going to give you a helping hand with that, right? Let's say somebody left you broken to the point where you don't feel like doing the things it is that you love. The feeling consumes you, or this person might be cheating with somebody else. You got to understand something. It's best for you to get back to you and who you are before you let the negative thoughts and what happened to you consume you. Because as I stated to you before, if you let what somebody put you through get a hold of you and just stifle you and just choke you out, you're going to stay there for years on end. How many times you ever seen somebody sulking from a relationship that left them broken from years ago, or a friendship that left them stuck from years ago? And it's like, bro, you still in the same spot? You got to understand something, dog. You got to pick up and move, dog. It's just like in the military. You get what I'm saying? You in a state of war and gunshots flying. You see that, it's going down right now. Action popping off. You going to succumb to the fear and, I'm just going to go hide right here. I can't move. You got to keep going. Because what? Eventually you're going to You're going to get hit. So you got to understand this. If you're in a state of, I'm messed up right now, I don't know what to do, get back to your old self. Give you an example into me. I love watching cartoons. Hey Arnold is like one of my favorite cartoons. Me watching cartoons, it reminds me of the good old days when I ain't really had no problems or no real worries like that as a kid. So I use that and lean on that to get back my thought process or the things that I love to do. Expand my mind. Like, yo, I remember when I used to do this, or I used to go to the batting cages. That's what helps you get back to yourself. Sometimes you can be in a rut where, yo, you don't see light at the end of the tunnel, and you could get lost in a nostalgic thought or something you used to do way back when, and it takes you up out of the situation where you at. Like, yo, I remember them times I used to go by the skating rink and I'd skate for hours. These are things you got to remember about yourself. Who were you before you got betrayed? Who were you before somebody snaked you? Who were you before somebody cheated on you and dogged you out or whatever? You're a somebody. You just have to prove it to yourself and remind yourself that, yo, I am a somebody. If I did greatness before, what? You could do it again. Next thing, right? Setting boundaries. There are some people who did grimy things, and they're going to try their hardest to try and come back around in any form of a way. And you got to remember this as well. If somebody did something grimy to you before, just chalk it up that it was what? It was intentional. Because nobody is just that, oh, that dumb that I'm going to do something grimy and I don't know what I did. Bro, you hit the age of understanding when you're about 12 or 13. People out here aren't friggin' stupid, dog. People know what they out here doing. They just think you're not going to catch on, or you're not going to say anything, or you're just going to let them slide for the BS that they pulled off. Don't do that, bro. Set boundaries. So if you know somebody did something grimy to you, or somebody's known to steal, or whatever the case may be, yo, don't come back around here. And stand on that. Don't be one of them people where you're passive and you say something, you double back on your word. Fuck out of here. If a person ain't showing you they loyal or they solid, they got to get from around you. Example, it doesn't matter how long you know a person. That's another thing. People are going to try you if they feel like you have a soft spot for them. Mind you what I tell you, my mom used to size me in the biggest of ways until I had to show my mom, don't fucking play with me. And that was a grimy thing I had to do, but I actually fell in love with it because it showed me something. If I could do that shit to my mother, I could really do it to anybody. And in a different kind of way. If I could do certain things to you as a mother, mind you, there are people who have a soft spot for their mother. Remind you, there's some people out here, oh no, that's my mama. Don't talk to my mom like that. Nah, I don't give a fuck. The thing is, you got to understand, yes, be respectful to your parents, but you cannot be out here abusing and disrespecting and violating your children like, you're my child, I could do whatever. Bullshit. That's that Jamaican island mentality where they feel like we went through certain things, you should be able to go through the same thing, or you should allow, ain't no allowing to nothing. You feel me? That's disrespect. So I'm going to teach you this. Setting boundaries is what's going to save you in life. Because there are some people they like to cross those boundaries because you know what? You're not going to do anything. Or you're not going to say anything. Or you're my friend. Or you're this, that, and the third. Sometimes you got to put a person in their place and let them know, don't play with me. You feel me? And sometimes when you really show a person and stand on business, that's when people start to fret. Because that shows people they never really knew you like that. Sometimes when people do certain things to you to cross you or underestimate you, undermine you, whatever, they chalked it up. You're not going to do anything. Mind you, if somebody's going to try somebody, they're going to chalk it up that, yo, you're not going to respond. Mind you, a lot of people out here really pussy like that, bro. They're not going to try somebody who's going to give them a run for their money. I'm going to go after somebody who you're probably a mute. You're probably passive. You're probably not going to say anything to me. So that way I could get away with how I feel, try you, disrespect you, whatever, and still be able to come back around. That's complete bullshit, bro. So you got to understand that. You have to check that right then and there. And as well as that, right? When some people do these things to backstab you or cross you or whatever, it's a form of insecurity. But at the same time, this is how you know that a lot of people are screwed up mentally. There are people out here who will disrespect you, undermine you, expect you to take the disrespect so they can still come back around you, extract, see how you do the good greatness that you do, and still violate you. That's bullshit. You cannot do that shit. And I notice there's a lot of people who have a fucked up mentality and think they could play them games with people. You cannot play that game with people, dog. What you do with Tom, Dick, and Harry, you might not do with Marvin, Melvin, and whoever, dog. You cannot do that with everybody. The games you run internally with your little inner circle, you cannot run that with the whole world. You feel me? Some people just not going for it. As well as that, some people, they do certain things in a nefarious way for validation. If I could destroy this person, that means what? People are only going to see me in the room. There's no competition. If I'm the one that's out here that's shining, people are going to see me. They don't see nobody else. And there are some people who do that just to inflate the hell out of their ego to feel better about themselves. Because downright, some people cannot look themselves in the mirror because they know they've been doing grimy shit their whole life. Especially if they've done it to people that don't deserve it and then try and put a bad name on them like you're the problem or you're this, that, and the third. Those people are sick and very much lost. As well as that, right? Focusing on self-care. Once you recognize the problems that you went through, right? You acknowledge that, yo, I could get back to my old self, or you find the things that you used to do. You set boundaries for people, right? Now you got to reflect on those past experiences again. This is just something I do, right? I reflect on what I went through and where I'm at now. You know how they say it's not good to look back? Guess what? Sometimes it's good to reflect, better yet. Not on the negative, but to say, yo, this is how far I came. I remember when this person screwed me up or they broke me down or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? Give you an example. I tell you this all the time, bro. It's real serious. That's one of the main reasons as to why I do this. When I was involved in music, to know that my artists, literally, you playing like, oh, this is my dog, this is my brethren, this, that, and the third. And because you see that you getting wrote from all these big name labels and Illuminati and Freemason, because I wouldn't co-sign or tag along with you in your bullshit, you feel like it's good to cross me over, threaten me and do all of this. If you ever say anything, D'Angelo, I'm going to have you killed. Just because you know the type of dirty ass nigga that you are and the foul ass lifestyle you live. So you want somebody to conform to you in your lifestyle. Bullshit. Let me tell you something. In life, there are some people who will do whatever it is that they can to stop you from moving forward. Even if it means to threaten your life, dog. Even if it's to make you seem like you're the problem and you're not. You have to understand to press forward. Because you pressing forward, you're choosing to be true to who? Yourself, dog. You deciding to conform to somebody who betrayed you across your, even if they want to put a little bit of muscle in and put fear into you. You got to nut up, dog. You cannot back down from people, bro. You get what I'm saying? You got to know what it is that you believe in, what you stand up for, and stay true to that vision, dog. There's some people, they'll do every and anything in the books of crossing people and doing something foul to them so they don't speak up or so they don't say anything at all because they want to maintain a certain image. Yo, I'm a decent person. I wouldn't harm anybody. But if you know what they really do behind closed doors, it'll turn your stomach upside down, bro. That's how a lot of people got very far in life. And as well as that, right? Moving forward, the last one. Besides focusing on self-care, reflecting on past experiences, right? One of the main things you have to do, and this is what's going to help you out, you have to learn how to practice forgiveness for yourself, dog. Forgiveness, for me, I look at it as an opportunity for me to go ahead and give myself some leniency. And there's another thing. If you don't know how to practice forgiveness for yourself, it's going to be a hard road for you, bro. You got to understand, sometimes when you get betrayed or you get done dirty, you're like, man, why didn't I know this sooner? Guess what? That's what makes us get the experience we have in life. Sometimes you can't put the cart before the horse. Yes, you want to know what's the answer. Yes, you don't want to feel the pain. No, you don't want to have to go through the struggles. But guess what? That's what makes us who we are. That's what gives us the knowledge and the experience that we have, that we can share it with the next generation or share it with family or somebody close to you so they don't go through that. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, give yourself leniency, dog. Mind you, I was that damn hard on myself to the point where I was finna off myself, bruh. From certain shit my mom did to me. Certain things, certain friends I thought I had would try and size me on and then try and threaten my life. Because why? I learned too much about people. That let me know something. I can't really control certain things and how people feel towards me. The only thing I can do is control how I move, and I have to move according. If people giving me bad face or yo, I don't like you, get away from them. Fuck is you lingering around people for that you know or have an inkling they don't like you. You get what I'm saying? Give yourself leniency. If you didn't know a situation before, all right, now you understand. Now you can move according. And that's the messed up part about it, dog. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves, we don't stop and give ourselves leniency for the stuff that we went through. You feel me? But we'll give leniency to somebody else who probably never went through as much as what we went through. So that's a sign, yo. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself some leniency. You're not going to have all the answers and you're not going to know anything. But once you get these answers, apply them to your life. Don't beat up yourself about things that you never knew or things that you allowed to happen to you. Now that you have the answer, you know how to what? Move forward. You get what I'm saying? That being said, remember this. Words can help you. They can hurt you. But here on my channel, I want to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser. Just know this. Everybody has gone through some form of betrayal. Just don't become a prisoner to what you've been through. Don't become a prisoner of your own thoughts. Give yourself some leniency. Acknowledge what you went through. Yes, it's good to reflect every now and again, but don't dwell in the past of, I remember when this person did that and the third to me. Give yourself some leniency. You get what I'm saying? As long as you know you're not in that state of hell or being betrayed again, you're on a clean slate, guess what? You're in a better position. And at the very most, you got to also remind yourself this. The people who betrayed you, chances are it's going to be whose loss? Theirs, not yours. You didn't lose anything. You just got away from a negative situation of people that probably didn't mean you any well. Those people are going to miss you way more than what you believe because why? They don't have access to you anymore. They can't harm you or do anything to you anymore. They can't come and borrow from you or come steal or take from you or jack ideas and act like it's theirs. None of that. That way you can move forward and you can propel forward in life. You get what I'm saying? 440 for the world, man. Peace.